We are talking about an architectural design and a plan which a designer, which builder, somebody who is into construction lay for a particular building. And so marriage can be likened to a house or a building structure. Marriage can be likened to a house or a building structure. We read in Hebrews chapter 3, verse 4 says, and but of God. So house. This scripture specifically says that every house is like every house that you build by that things is God. And I know of the scripture in Psalms 100. So the architect of marriage, because God designed marriage. From our foundational class, we saw in understanding marriage, we saw that God instituted marriage. And so if God instituted marriage, God is the architect of marriage. They are about like a marriage. So why the husband and wife are the builders who must diligently follow the design of the architect so as to experience success in their marriage and family. So for us to experience success in our marriage, in our relationship, we must be able to align with the original plan or design of the architecture. Even in scripture in the Old Testament, God gave Moses a pattern for the construction of a tabernacle. And God is there. So God is the chief architect. So for us to enjoy true marriage, we must follow the plan, the architectural design of God. So godly wisdom is key for every successful marriage or relationship. If we read Proverbs 24 in not with this particular people, our superintendent Datike did also mention this scripture. And Proverbs chapter 24 verse 3 says, through wisdom a house is built, and by understanding it is established. And through knowledge it is furnished. So any jack and is built. A wise woman builds her house or builds her home. So I usually say a man builds his house, but it's the woman that makes it a home. Because the man is the leader, the man is the administrator, is the manager. And every house, the atmosphere, the environment of every house is a reflection of the woman. Every house you enter, or in this context, every family you enter, what makes it a home is a woman. A man builds his house because he has money, but it is a woman who makes it a home, who makes it welcoming, comfortable, because the woman is the general manager. The woman is always present in the house. And it's not by chance that women, before any other roles that they have in life, a woman can be a president, can be a government minister, can be an account, or can a business guru, whatever a woman can be. The first call of a woman is that of a housewife. And that is why in the years past, housewife was being termed as the profession of the woman. And to me, it's not demeaning. It is a full job because the woman has that grace of the housewife, that grace of the manager of the house. And so he manages the home, manages the house, structure the house, decorations, everything, whatever is needed in the house, the placement and how things are supposed to function, which the man may not always be present and have the patience to follow to detail some of these things. But the woman has this grace and this calling. And so it's the woman that makes a house a home. So it says, through wisdom, a house is built, and by understanding it is established. So here we are going to be learning wisdom, godly wisdom, and understanding the pattern, the model in which God already designed for every marriage. Okay, so this is the purpose of our studies, is to get wisdom and understanding to maximize in marriage. True to the saying that when the purpose of a thing is not known, abuse is inevitable. Marriages are not only functioning in error. Abuse is rampant and many homes are breaking because of lack of understanding of God's guiding principles for a godly home. So God has his guiding principles for a godly home. And don't take away the picture of the architect who does the design of a house or a building structure. So, having seen that, what does the scripture says about marriage? What does God view marriage? It will take us back to Genesis chapter 2, verse 24. Therefore shall a man leave his father and his mother, and shall cleave unto his wife, and they shall be one flesh. This scripture carry God's design, carry God's plan, master plan, how he intended it to be. And that scripture, from this scripture, three principles stand out clearly in this verse of scripture. Say, therefore shall a man live. That's the first adjective in this scripture, live. or the first action word, live. The second action word there, or the verb, is cleave. And the third, which is now like the result of these two actions, is one flesh. You say, a man shall leave his father and his mother and shall cleave unto his wife, and they shall become one flesh. So let's examine these three key principles detailedly to understand God's design, God's master plan. We begin with the word live. The first principle in God's master plan involves leaving home. It is a command. When a man and his wife come together in marriage, they form a new family unit, separate and different from the one each of them are coming from. Until both of them leave their former homes and family, they cannot form their new and distinct family unit. So the first command that God gives is live. A man shall live. A man should live. It is imperative for the man to live. And when he says a man shall live, it is also implied in that scripture that a woman also shall live. The woman lives and the man lives, and the two cleave. And even if we just want to consider that is talking about man, you discover that one of the issues that is responsible for conflict and displacement of things in the functioning of a proper new home, new family unit that should be formed through marriage is when a man fails to live. The woman leaves her own father's compound, but the woman remains in his own father's compound, maybe for inheritance. Or maybe he does not have a house and chooses to get married and remain in his father's compound or in his father's house. And the next problem that we'll have is sisters-in-law, aunties-in-laws, people who will be trying not to intervene in their relationship, and most often oppressing the wife. So physically, the man and his wife should live. After marriage, the ideal thing is for the man and his wife to move into their own house. A situation where people get married and still live or remain in the family house should be avoided, as it strains relationship. Now, living is a sign of parental independence for adjustment and maturity. As a couple learns to grow together, it helps to avoid a situation where the relationship is manipulated and remote controlled by their in-laws, because everything is before their eyes. Even when they are not invited, they will invite themselves. And one of the reasons why this is important is it doesn't speak well when a lady sees the way his husband is being treated in a way. The way when there are some issues, family issues that is being addressed, the way maybe they now treat the husband, talk to the husband, is demeaning even on the wife. And so living physically is very important. So this is why in counseling or premarital counseling, we ask them, you are preparing to get married. Do you already have a place to stay? And it's not supposed to be an issue. Start somewhere, whether it's one room. That one room is yours. And that one room is noble. That one room is your space, is your environment, where you people will be able to grow together, go through your challenges together, and learn from your own errors together. You are free. There is a kind of freedom physically. Okay. The next is to live emotionally. The husband and his wife should live their respective parents emotionally. We know that by birth, children are emotionally attached to their parents. And this emotional attachment must be carefully handled after marriage to avoid emotional breakdown. You understand that most often when people are getting married, you find that some people are crying. They are crying not because the person is dying or has died, but there's a kind of emotional attachment that has been, emotional bond that has been. And so the person is crying, you see them crying because they see their daughter is going, their sister is going on marriage. They are happy, but there is a mixed emotion. And so understanding this emotional attachment is very important to prepare people on how to live emotionally so that there should not be emotional breakdown. Why should they live emotionally? They have been used to a lot of around their home, a lot of this and that. And sometimes it will be difficult for them to live those experiences because they are emotionally attached. And so, two people in a relationship, the reason why during courtship they are having time to be by themselves and spend time together, go on date, time that they spend together, say sightseeing, uh, understanding their hobbies, doing things together, and all that you learn in premarital counseling. The reason for that is gradually they are also living emotionally. Gradually they are also getting acquainted and being part of making the bond, such that when the time comes for them to leave, it is not so much an issue. So we must be reminded again that marriage is not for boys, it is not for girls. And this suggests why marriage is for the mature. It's not for mama's boys, it's not for daddy's girls, but for the mature. The next point is they must live mentally. The husband and his wife must live mentally. The man and his wife should be ready to take decisions on their own and accept responsibility. Both of them must be ready to face their own challenges as a couple, make their own errors, and come over it as a couple without hanging the blames on anyone. And it entails a certain kind of soundness and toughness in the mind. Some people get married and refuse to grow because they refuse to take responsibility for their decisions. And so they keep waiting for the approval of their parents before taking any step. This ought not to be so. Inasmuch as it is good to seek elderly advice and counsel from your in-laws or parents, there must be a limit if you must grow together as a couple. If not, you will always be dependent on your parents or on the family members, and you will not grow. You grow by taking those responsibilities, making your own decisions, going through your own errors, and then learning from them. They should also live financially. Financially, they should live. They ought to be financially independent. They must both be able to work, earn money, and be financially responsible. They can be blessed to have parents that are well-to-do, supportive, and may always be there financially and all of that. But it will be the best you are able to, in the sense of get something doing, get a work, get a business, get something that can provide for you finance, and have a source of income. This is very paramount as the counselor prepares and counsels people for marriage. There should not be a financial burden on their parents after their marriage. There should be a kind of financial independence. To live financially, husband and wife must learn to be contented with each phase of their life, work hard, and grow together. And we spoke much this why it's marriage and money matters. So having seen the first principle of living, we have seen that you must live physically, you must live emotionally, you must live mentally, you must live financially. Now let's look at the next design, God's master design or master plan. Cleave. The next word is cleave. Cleaving. This principle, when two people get married, after leaving their father and their mothers, the next process is the process of cleaving. To cleave means to be joined together. To cleave means to adhere, to cling, to click, to stick together, or to stick fast to each other. It means a coming together, a blending of two distinct individuals into one wholesome unit. And this is why the scripture says in Ephesians 5:31, for this cause shall a man leave his father and mother, and shall be joined unto his wife, and they two shall be one flesh. And we have already explained that until you live, there cannot be a cleaving. For a cleaving to take place, there must be first a living. So the basis for a lifelong relationship, friendship, and fellowship is cleaving or bonding of two individuals from hitherto separate backgrounds, separate cultures, separate way of doing things. The effect of this is a bond of unity and intimacy. So when they cleave, they bond. And this bonding will produce what? An all-round oneness of intimacy, spiritually, physically, emotionally. And so we are going to be seeing oneness, what it means to this oneness that is formed by cleaving. And this oneness is formed spirit, soul, and body. Remember that the human being or a man is tripartite, spirit, soul, and body. Even according to 1 Thessalonians, I think chapter 5, verse 23, it talks about spirit, soul, and body. So man is a spirit, has a soul, and lives in a body. Now let's look at oneness in the spirit. Oneness in the spirit means both of them are spiritually aligned, alive and connected, belonging to the same spiritual kingdom. So God's expectation is for them to bond spiritually. When they cleave, they should bond spiritually. And for that to happen, they should be spiritually aligned and connected, belonging to what? One kingdom. Oneness in the spirit entails that they should have one spiritual perspective of seeing things, of doing things. Oneness in the realm of the soul means both of them being agreeable in spite of their individual differences. The same thoughts, the same way of thinking. And oneness in the realm of the body refers to their physical union as husband and wife. That physical union, which is their creative power. Now, why is it their creative power? When they bond spiritually, soulish, or in the realm of the soul, or emotionally, is stronger, sooner or later, this physical bond will begin even to reflect where you see them even resembling. So, every couple must beware of anything that will want to come in between them. Anything that will want to be like a division. So it is worthy of note that it is not it is deliberate